Hello, 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 BTL community. Thank you for the people that have joined me today. I know it is a little bit earlier than we normally are streaming, but I do have some pre-arrangements for Friday. This is BTL's first ever live Q&A for Power Rankings Week 1. I will be posting Power Rankings in the chat. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can live, just so that you guys can get feedback, figure out what's going through my mind as I rank these teams. But without further ado, these are Week 1 Power Rankings, and I hope everyone's excited to see the future of what Power Rankings are in BTL. And this is something that Ito has been wanting to do for a while. He's been wanting to have kind of like a esports style like talk about the teams and how they're performing. So today, Luz has retired. He hopefully will be back next season because I don't think my power rankings will be nearly as good. Um, just know for all future teams that read this and watch this, if I do get any pronouns wrong, because sometimes I use he or she, just let me know and I will correct them. I'm not trying to offend anyone. And on top of that, none of this is directed to be hateful. I'm just here to give my honest opinions on how the teams are performing, what I want to see from each team in terms of what they need to improve on, and what I notice that their strengths and weaknesses are. So in the first part of these power rankings, we have the standings. We do have a three-way tie for first place between Elysium Terra, Lexi's Rat Emporium, and Maria's Dungeon. The only reason why Spectre's Gaming isn't tied for first as well is because their record is 2-1 versus a 2-0. In fifth place, we have the free agent team. They are the only team that lost this week that managed to pick up a game, so good on them, especially for being a free agent team. They do have a lot of synergy they need to build compared to the other teams. Next up for the tied for sixth place, we have FFZ or Fantastic Four and Zerathai, Dynasty Sapphire, and Brandy's Banana Chompers. So in power rankings, first place, I have placed Elysium Terra. I've put them here because they give me a lot of reminiscence of last season from the strength of Koi. I know a little shameless name drop there. But this team has really impressed me. They are a fresh face for BTL, and they managed to get a pentakill first week. They're not the only team that managed to do it, but that Ari gameplay by Zoe, absolutely beautiful. This team overall, I feel, is very well rounded, and it was a close ranking between them and Maria's Dungeon for first and second. But I believe that Elysium Terra, all of their players are just a step above where Maria's Dungeon is right now, especially with some of Maria's Dungeon players being off role. This team hosts the second highest gold lead in the tournament so far. The only team to beat them is Maria's Dungeon in Team 1, so very good by them. I'm not sure why teams were giving Furry Little Feet Belveth, but this player, absolutely insane playing. I loved every bit of action that was brought forth by Elysian Terra. They did play against BBC in week 1, so BBC is definitely a little bit lower on the power rankings, but they still played it absolutely phenomenal. They didn't show really any weakness. Now, the jungle, I think, is Elysium Terra's big focus here. They are that player is all over the map doing everything that they want to do, and it's very hard to actually read what Zawai, or not, sorry, not Zawai, Furry Little Feet is doing from what I saw on BBC. Maybe other teams can read it a little bit better, but overall, very impressed with how they played. And I'm not going to go through everything I typed out just because you guys will be able to read it. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a quick rundown of what's going on and like some of my thoughts. In second place, we have Maria's Dungeon. Came out absolutely phenomenally strong against FFZ in game 1. They managed to create a 22,000 gold lead in a 22-minute game. That is 1,000 gold per minute. I think that quite possibly could be the highest in BTL's history. Nukes and XPO are the keystones for this team. If you watched game one, Nukes and XPO all over the map, invading constantly, shutting down FFC's jungler, and Nukes Talia. I, I I can't even explain like how surprised I was with how many one shots they were doing. They were playing super aggressive, which, to be honest, they deserved. They know how to do it. They know how to be safe with it. And when you are able to play that aggressive and the team can't stop you from doing that, it is a really good look for your team, and it really shows that you know your limits of your champions and how to play them. The only reason why they aren't above ET is because I personally think FFC is a little bit stronger than BBC, just because I know what FFC is capable of, whereas BBC is also another new face in the league. The number three slot is going to go over to Lexi's Rat Emporium. This team is filled with a lot of old guard members. We have Jordan coming in strong with the jungle, Your Bad Connection coming in strong for bot lane, and Bussy General, another great player on the top side. Um, I'm not sure why teams, as I mentioned in my little thing right here, why people keep giving Jordan Kindred. Jordan is one of their strongest players. I think one of the strongest junglers in the league so far, and people just keep giving over the yes Jordan. Thank you, Cherry, for the Jordan win. They keep giving Jordan what she wants, whether it to be the Graves, the Kindred, the Moo, whatever she plays, she's always able to play it at a very high level, and I'm very impressed with that player overall. And your bad's connections champion pool absolutely massive. I don't think there's a single champion that this player plays that he does bad on. He can do literally everything, whether that be super hyper carries like Jinx, artillery carries like Ezreal, or even early game prowess champions like the Lucian. Overall, they're a very clean group of players. They know how to. They have a great shot caller coming out of your bad connection, and they know how to really use that support and that jungler for a lot of roams. And it pairs very well with Jordan's playstyle, able to catapult her lead, and it is very impressive. The only weakness I see out of Lexi's Rat Emporium is if you are able to somehow ban all of Jordan's champions, that which has been done in the past in last season of BTL. She does start to waver a little bit, but overall her team is there to pick her up, and once she gets picked up, she's back on the road, back on the championship drive to get all the way through playoffs. So very well played by this team, and they know exactly what they're doing. They know their style, they know their identity, and I can't wait to see more from them. Coming in the number four spot, sorry, is Spectre Gaming. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm gonna mute this music. Is Spectre Gaming. I would like to rank this team higher, but they did drop a game against the free agent team, which I was very surprised by, and it's not the greatest look just because you're playing against a team that is not able to build as much synergy in such a short amount of time because their team was formed so late. Now, I don't think that Spectre Gaming is going to let that happen again. I do think that they are filled with some great players. I personally know their jungler, Vimstat, otherwise known as Tavian. Very strong player, and he is a very nice focal point for this team. His champion pool is pretty nice. He does struggle a little bit with certain champions. The Nocturne game, for instance, was not the best I've seen from them. And on top of that, he has Learning, who is a master tier mid laner, and Swagasm, who's a very strong top laner to pair with. And even when Spectre Gaming had to sub in for Swagasm because he couldn't make it for the first few games, Red, absolutely, who is their substitute top laner, played very well for somebody that's just coming right off the bench. So if you're not careful with this team, they are definitely going to be taking you for some games. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Spectre Gaming taking some games or matches off of the top three teams here. Tavian, I look, listen, buddy. I am who I am. I did notice some interesting number ones. Coming in the fifth slot, free agent team. I think this team impressed me the most just because of who they are. They are literally just free agents. They were picked up randomly by Ito. He tried out a bunch of players, and this is who he decided to bring into the fold of BTL season 15. They do have some great players. Keiko Zed, a little hidden gem on their side. His current rank is Emerald 2, but don't be fooled. That player is an ex-Masters player. I don't know the highest that he's been, but he doesn't play as much League right now, which is why his rank's a little bit low, but he is considered a Diamond 2 player for the League just because Ito knows what he is capable of. Another great focal point for this team. Where is it? I lost it. Oh, okay. Um, some areas that this team that you need to look out for is their bot and mid. Kago said is a very nice area to look at if they get him on some carry potential, but his champion pool is very wide. He literally plays everything. Another strong point I noticed for this team was their bot lane. The only thing that was their major flaw is their drafts sometimes seem all over the place. Even like in game one, where they had some favorable matchups, the overall team coherency was not quite there. So I just want to see this team focus more a little bit on the drafting. I know it's a little hard because you are playing with a bunch of free agent players. They don't really have team building, and they can't really like get someone to play a certain role because they don't know what they play. But with a little bit more time in the league, this team I think will get pretty high. They definitely showed a much better performance compared to the other teams that are lower on this power ranking bracket, and I am overall, like I said, super impressed with them. Coming in at number 6, we have Dynasty Sapphire. I wasn't super impressed with the squad. I do think that they have some areas that they need to improve on, and it just seems like right now they're being a little bit outplayed in terms of mechanics. For instance, like Empress of Blades, she keeps getting her Irelia banned from her, which for good reason. I believe she's an Irelia one trick with that name, and this team, once they can like strengthen up those champion pools, they will be able to, I think, get some games off. I don't know how high they will go, but overall it wasn't a bad showing, especially from their top laner. Even while their top laner was behind, he was still managing to get some 1v1 outplays and making him look very good. So they do have some areas that they can look at. They just need to really focus on that mid jungle synergy, and once they can shore that up, I think this team can be very powerful. Ah, okay, Caleb, thank you. Good luck to this team overall. I do think that they can take some matches off, and I will be pleasantly surprised and happy to see them put up a fight against some of these higher ranking teams. So don't count them out yet. Don't count any team out yet, just because this is week 1. Nobody really knew what to be expecting. So just be prepared for anything. This whole list can get flipped by next week. Coming in at number 7, we have FFZ. This team probably disappointed me the most, especially after the game 1 performance. I know the FFC squad. I expected a little bit more from them. Their players are not bad, despite Zerathai always like joking about how bad he is. Um, so, but overall, I think this team is super strong, and they can get a lot stronger if they really focus on draft. Like game 1 draft, I think was the worst draft ever. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what FFC was doing there. We talked about it in the caster chat. We thought they were all over the place. Game 2, they instantly fixed it, so that was very good by them. And they actually put up a pretty decent fight against Maria's Dungeon. So they just need to really identify what they are good at and focus on, in my opinion, giving Zerathai and Just Relish the tools that they need. I think those are the 2 best players that they have. And I think Zerathai and Just Relish, once they get those champions that they like to play, can really carry games. Like Just Relish's Camille, he got it 2 games in a row. Very strong showing, especially against Shin top lane, on a very annoying lane to play against. So very good on Just Relish. And Zerathai, once he did get that Ezreal, started performing a much better. So I would like to see Zerathai expand his champion pool a little bit, and then really focus down on helping him get through the laning phase and helping Just Relish start those early skirmishes and get those early wins that the team needs. Coming in at number 8 is Brandy's Banana Chompers. I would like to rank them higher just because their icon is cute. I think it is. I think it's funny, and overall, this team was very weak. They did have one of the fastest games in week one. Um, and they were playing against the strongest team, so it's very hard to rate them right now because going against Elysium Terra is no laughing matter. Very hard to focus and be on top of your game when you're playing against the team that I personally think is the strongest in the league. Um, the most notable games I saw from them were from the mid laner and the jungle. They oh sorry. Yeah. So they let the Belveth and Ari go through multiple games, and they kind of, especially in game one, and they kind of let Belveth roll all over the place. So they need to really be able to get to help their jungler a lot, just because once jungle starts falling behind, especially in the new meta, it can be very dangerous because clearing is a little bit longer. So you really got to make sure that you're on top of your vision game, something I didn't notice from them in game one. Game two was a little bit of a different story. They actually started moving for the jungler. So once again, good adaptiveness, and I just want them to keep that up because if they're constantly moving for the jungler and helping their mid laner, that team can start looking a little bit stronger. I don't know how stronger they're gonna be. They're gonna get. They are a completely new face for us in BTL, and again, this is kind of a running theme for a lot of the lower ranked teams is they need to look at draft a little bit better. I like game two, for instance, they had an all 80 team, which is not something you ever want to do, especially in in amateur play. A lot of teams know how to abuse that, and it can be very dangerous if you only pick one source of damage, with for them being a full physical damage team. So they do have some areas to look at. They need to be focused on top of vision. They need to improve that drafting just a little bit, and they need to improve their roaming because if the running trend is their jungler getting invaded a lot and getting abused a lot, it's going to be very hard for this team to come out strong, especially with jungle being such an important role in the game. So that is my week one power rankings. I will be posting this in the chat somewhere so everyone can read through how they want. If anyone in the stream has any questions about where I ranked people or how I thought about certain things, go ahead and ask now, and then I will answer whatever I can. And then otherwise, that's going to conclude week one. I don't know what we're going to call this, but we'll call it something. Me and Issa will figure something out. And I will be trying to do this as often as I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it every week. And maybe I can try to get some people to join on with me because it is a little bit easier to bounce ideas off of people that are physically in call. So do I have any questions in the chat before I close the stream out? All right, Tavian. All right. All right. What's up, Caleb? What's your first question? For player-wise, are you referring to the player base? Okay, so Chicken the Wing, otherwise known as Caleb, has asked who I think the individual best player is in the league right now. I'm gonna give that over to Maria's Dungeon's jungler, Nukes. This guy played absolutely phenomenal. He was the one of the main reasons why Maria's Dungeon created such a huge gold lead here. He literally got everything he wanted to. His team was there to back him up, so very good on Maria's Dungeon's team. And this team, for obvious reasons, has the best chance to take a game off of Elysium Terra, in my opinion. They do have some weaknesses, but overall, if they can play off of Nukes and let Nukes play the way he wants, I think that gives Nukes the best player slot. All right, do we have any other questions? Tavian has one. He's just shy. Okay, what is Tavian's question? oh, Caleb's lying. Okay. But I do want to do this more often. So, while Caleb's asking this question, if you guys want to start like coming up with questions, preparing things, I would greatly appreciate it. I like the interaction that we can get out of the BTL community. The next question that I have coming up is why Spectre isn't number one? Well, I just don't think they had the greatest showing, as I explained already. We have another question coming in from Cherry. What match you looking forward to the most this weekend? Let's see. We have. Okay, so my number one match to look out for this weekend, and I think will be the most interesting, is actually going to be our first match of the week, unless a schedule change happens. It's going to be Maria's Dungeon versus Lexi's Rat Emporium. The reason why this is going to be my number one match to look at is because they're so close in power rankings, and I think both teams have a lot of strong suits and very good players. And both teams are vetted. They've both been playing a lot in BTL. They have quite the track record in BTL. So I think that this game is going to be probably our closest game of the week, and I would really like to see how Jordan compares to Nukes, with Nukes being, in my opinion, the best player in the league right now, and how her team can get on or can help her overcome a player like Nukes, especially when Nukes has such a strong team of his own. The other games for this week, Dynasty Sapphire versus Elysium Terra. I don't think that's going to go really. I don't think that's going to really surprise anyone. I'm pretty sure Elysium Terra is going to win that. Maybe Dynasty Sapphire can take a game off them, but I'm predicting a 2-0 there. In terms of the first game, I'm predicting a 2-1 Maria's Dungeon favored. And then the other game we have is FFZ versus the free agent team. That might be a little bit of a close game. They are pretty similar, and FFZ having an advantage of team synergy. I'm going to give it 2-1 to FFZ. And then BBC versus Spectre Gaming, I think is going to be a 2-0 for Spectre's Gaming. All right. Do we have any other questions coming from chat? Jordan. Jordan, I personally don't think we should compare Jordan and Nukes. Well, I have to do it because I am the unbiased viewer. All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any more questions in the chat. So thank you, everyone who joined me here. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. This is something that I think is a lot of fun, and it's something that I can use to bolster my casting reputation and maybe start casting in other places as long as continue to cast alongside casting for BTL. So thank you, everyone, for joining me, and I hope to catch you guys next week when I'm able to do this. I am going to start doing this a little bit later on Fridays. I only did it so early because of prior arrangements. So, but overall, yeah, I for your bad connection is messaging me on Discord. I will be posting this in BTL. So don't be worried if you guys missed this, or if you guys want to rewatch the VOD, go ahead. But I will be posting this. But once again, thank you for everyone that joined me. Thank you for the questions. It is a lot of fun to interact with the community. And we will catch you guys on Saturday for game number 1 of the week, Maria's Dungeon versus Lexi's Rat Emporium. you